then in 2004, and here he is in his first news conference as Manchester City manager. A few photographs being taken before Mark Hughes, former Manchester United player. Many thought he'd be courted by Chelsea, a former favourite at Stamford Bridge as well, just posing for the cameras. But Manchester City got their man. Mark Hughes is there. He looks quietly relaxed, doesn't he? Very quietly spoken off the field, Mark Hughes. A tiger when he was on it, that was for sure. Just going through the photos now. These will appear on the back pages of your newspapers tomorrow, that's for sure. But he looks happy. What will he have to say as the new Manchester City manager? He's taken his seat and ready for the Inquisition to begin. Let's hear what Manchester City manager Mark Hughes has to say.
Well, Mark, welcome to Manchester City. Hiya. How much of a whirlwind has this been? It seems to have been a whirlwind for us. Has it been a whirlwind for you?
Yeah, it's been a process that obviously from the time that the interest was shown and I had the opportunity to speak to obviously Gary and members of the board, it's been very, very quick, and it was very plain to myself that very quickly there was a huge project and huge job here that I wanted to be part of, and it was a very easy decision for me.
Was it a new challenge that convinced you to move to from Blackburn?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I had a fantastic time at Blackburn. It's a fantastic club with great people who give me every support that they could. It was difficult on occasions, obviously, with the amount of finances that I had available, but it was a job that I was really pleased to do. We had great success, but I knew that there was a limit to how far I could take the club, and it's the case now that I feel that I'm at a club that can match my ambitions.
You were linked with so many clubs so quickly. Was there anything in that? Were Chelsea talking to you at all, or was it just Manchester City? Or what?
No. Once Man City made their intentions known, then I was very focused on hopefully getting the opportunity to come to the club. It's come to fruition, which I'm extremely pleased about, and I'm looking forward to the time here. What's
the big challenge first? Is it keeping players rather than signing players? Because people are talking about signings, obviously.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a few issues around the current staff, which obviously are a priority for me. But it's only my first day. Obviously, there's a certain amount of housekeeping that I have to go through, namely the media and what have you. But very, very quickly after that, my focus will be on resolving any issues that are out there.
And in terms of the personnel you brought from Ewood Park, I mean, are you able to tell us what your backroom team is going to be?
Well, there's still obviously a number of staff have left, so I have to address those spaces in my management team. I'm working hard on that. A number of staff will be leaving Blackburn to join me, which I'm extremely pleased about, because they're key to how I work. So it's important that I keep that management team together. But obviously it's still very early days, and we have to get our feet under the table and look at any issues that are out there.
You've clearly spoken to the owner, obviously in a different country, but what's he said to you about the challenge ahead and the challenges he set you?
Well, he wished me well. Obviously, I had a brief conversation with him, and I spent some time, obviously, with his close advisors, and I was very excited by the ambition they have for the club, and the fact that they picked me to lead that ambition. I'm very pleased and very honoured to do that.
In terms of some of the targets, I mean, people have been talking about Blackburn players coming here. They've been talking about Ronaldinho.
Well, there's a lot of talk, a lot of speculation about the quality of the players that can come here. I'm always interested in good quality players. If they're available at the right price, then I would try to bring them to the football club.
And a final point from me: no conflict between wearing the red shirt for Manchester United and now wearing the blue shirt for Manchester City.
Well, I'm a professional football manager. I don't wear the shirt anymore. I just try and lead the people that are actually wearing it. As I said, I'm a manager that obviously has been shaped by the experiences that I've had. That includes my playing career, but as I said, I'm very much a professional manager who's trying to do the job and progress in my career as quickly as I can. And I'm at a great club now with a great fan base who've been really positive in the reaction to the appointment, and I'm certainly pleased about that. And now it's a case of getting my feet under the table and moving the club forward.
As passionate for this club, that's the message to the fans, as you were at Old Trafford then?
Absolutely. I did play for other clubs than Man United, by the way. It's my passion and my drive and my ambition is there for all to see. And if you see how my teams play and the intensity that my players have, you see that the work that I do has an impact in a positive way. So that's what I'm trying to bring to Man City.
You feel as can I just ask photography to do some flash-free time for a second now, please, everybody? Thank you.
Would you say there's a lot of pressure on you, Mark, given the ruthless way in which Sven was eventually parted company with?
There's always pressure. Every Premier League manager is under pressure. It's a results-driven business, and you're always judged on your results and judged on the key decisions that you make. It doesn't faze me. I've worked with pressure right through my playing career and right through my managerial career. It's something that you have to work with, and if you can, you have to thrive on it, which I try and do.
There have been a lot of managers, of course, over the last 20 years here in the hot seat. Is it worry you that there has been this turnover of managers?
No, not particularly. I'll back my ability against most managers. I think I've already intimated. I think my management team is one of the best in the Premier League, and I think we can make an impact here. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't have come here.
Have you been given an indication of how much money you can spend? Because there's various different versions of that.
Well, I think a number of people have thrown figures out there, and some are way off the mark, some maybe a little bit closer to the mark, but it's very early days. I think the key is to make sure we recognise who and what type of player we want to bring to the club. Once we do that, then obviously I'm sure that an amount will be made available for me to pursue those targets.
Looking from the outside, you appear to be a manager who manages in a very different style than Sven, so therefore I would imagine that you want a different type of player. So is there a lot of work for you to do fairly quickly?
Well, I think my management style is one that enables players to be the best they can be, and to fulfil their potential. I make no bones about the fact that I'm very demanding on a day-to-day basis, not only on match day. Training sessions are of a high intensity, and I expect a certain level to be attained. I think that's key to the way I approach my job. I'm consistent with players. They know exactly how far they can go, and it's a case of once they understand the philosophy that I have and my mantra and what my coaching staff will bring to them, if they embrace that, then they will thrive. I'm absolutely convinced of that.
This might be something that Gary might want to answer as well, but given that it was very specifically set out to Sven what his targets were, top 10 first year, UEFA Cup, Champions League, have you been given the same type of timetable or goal?
Well, I mean, it's still very early on, but my ambition is obviously to take the club forward. I've been at a club that's had 3 top 10 Premier League finishes, 3 cup semi-finals. I want to move on from that. That means getting into finals, winning trophies, and making sure that we're competing at the top end of the Premier League.
But Gary, is that something that's specifically coming from the board now, as the new man at the top, so to speak?
Well, you know, Mark articulated it well. He understands what success looks like. We as a football club know what success looks like. I think setting targets on positions in the table is not healthy for the organisation. We're on a 10-year plan. Success is going to come to this club, and as I say, you know, nobody knows success better than this man. So we won't define it in positions in the table. I think as a team, we know what success is going to look like.
And can I just